I'm not jealous because of the beautiful mountains of Denver, Colorado. And I'm not jealous of the beautiful beaches and wonderful weather in Miami, Florida. No, no, no. I am jealous of what happens when two wonderfully ran organizations with awesome players meet in an NBA Finals. We are here on the Sports Cubicle to have a therapy session. It's the marvelous one, Dan Marver. It's Devin Tingle, Paul Chivari throughout the show. I'm Mike Mercado, and as of this recording, we are getting ready for game one of the NBA Finals. Earlier on, I talked about Lonzo Ball and his impact for the Bulls, the really sad situation that's going on, the rumors of him not wanting to play and not being able to play because of this injury. And rightfully so, it is a scary thing for the Bulls. But one thing that we're starting to see right now is how important it is to have the right guys, the right culture, and the right star on your team. And that's what these two teams in the finals are. And it's funny to see the connection of the Miami Heat to the Chicago Bulls and the Denver Nuggets to the Chicago Bulls, and how far it seems like this organization, the team on the west side of Chicago, the team that had 6 NBA championships because of one of the greatest, if not the greatest player ever, wore that jersey. And here we are now, jealous of the Miami Heat going to another finals with a player that was on their roster. The connections, the frustration, it's all there, Marvelous. People think I'm crazy for being this animated as a Bulls fan and loving the association. But as a Bulls fan, this is a frustrating NBA Finals.
Yeah. Well, you're not crazy for that reason, for sure. But I will ask, here's your trivia question. Who was the 41st overall pick in the 2014 NBA draft?
I believe during a Taco Bell commercial, it might be one Nikola Jokic.
That is correct. Ding, 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 ding.
How special is that player, Marvelous? Like, how
Really?
we'll talk
Yeah.
about Jimmy in a second because of the local connection, Marquette and the Bulls. But Joker, like what, and Jamal Murray. Shout out to Murray for coming back from that injury, but Jokic, absolutely a monster.
You're not kidding. I mean, he's the key to the whole series. Now they'll try to defend him as best they can, but he's his shots. It doesn't, he's 6'11", but when he puts the ball behind his head, it's untouchable. Even for a tall player. So he's a big key, and of course, like you mentioned, Jamal Murray is another big key. I mean, like an international team. He's a Canadian, so it's just a combination that has been very deadly so far in the playoffs. And he was with Kentucky and for a year or two, and he's turned out to be a great pro too. But the funny thing is, not only is there's a lot of championship fever in the Miami area. You have the number 8 seed, the Miami Heat, who is now playing their second number 1 seed of the playoffs, and this number 1 seed, as far as I can tell, is at full strength. So and they're playing well. So uh, I hope it's competitive because the way Denver, they've had so much rest, maybe they'll be stale now, but they certainly had no problem with the Lakers whatsoever. Uh, I was wondering what it would have been like if Denver had played Golden State. I mean, would it have been a wipeout there too? But I guess we'll never know in terms of that. But in South Florida, you've even got a number 8 seed, by the way, for you hockey fans. The Florida Panthers with a number 8 seed, and they're playing Vegas, who's a number 1 seed. So you've got two similar situations where the going cross country to the mountains, and and it should be interesting. But in terms, and it's the same kind of situation, where it could be a complete wipeout. Hopefully not. We've got our local Max Strus on that Miami team, and undrafted, who thought that he'd be a starter in an NBA Finals, but he is. So it's an interesting team. They'll be, it'll be interesting to see how they defend the Joker, though, because they do have some talented defenders, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to stop him because he's pretty dominant.
It's funny you bring it up because there is so many fascinating aspects to this NBA Finals. And you think about Caleb Martin, you think about Max Strus, you think about Robinson, Tyler Hero hasn't played, Bam Adebayo didn't have a great series, Jimmy Butler is one of these dudes who he's going to drag his team to wherever they need to go. And then you look at a team with Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon and Caldwell Pope and obviously Joker. This is with Jeff Green and Reggie Jackson are on this team. Like, it is a team that a lot of professionals that have been in big moments. It is two organizations that have been built from the bottom up with well-ran front offices, which is frustrating as a Bulls fan because you wonder what they didn't see in Jimmy Butler, and you're wondering why 8K can't have that success in scouting and developing players like they did in Denver. I think this series comes down to a few things. The Nuggets, if you look at the advanced metrics, they're one of the best offensive teams we've ever seen. Better than that Denver, that Golden State team, I think it was 2015, 2016. I think it was the first or second title they won. This is a team that just overwhelms you on so many different levels. Miami's a grit team. Miami's a team that's going to play defense, that has to execute. And it's going to have its other guys that aren't Jimmy Butler have to step up and do something special. I think this is a matchup that has all the things and all the makings of something we're going to be talking about for a long time. Because either, I'm going to throw it to you this, but this is how I see it breaking down. Either the Denver Nuggets win in 5 pretty close games, but they win in 5, or the Heat are going to win this in 6 because they're going to steal a couple games in Denver and they're going to put all the pressure on that team. So either way, I think minus just blowouts 4 straight game, this has the opportunity to be one of those like, ooh, okay, kind of series.
Yeah. For Miami, I think the X factor in offense is Kevin Love, and the defense is Bam Adebayo. It's what he can do with the Joker. They're going to have to double team him at some point, and so they will leave somebody open. So that's the key. If they can somehow defend Joker and keep him down under 40 points.
Yeah, good luck. Even then, good luck. Shout out to you, Kevin Love. But even bringing that up, like, this is a team that has Kevin Love, X factors like Spoelstra and Pat Riley. Like, this is not a joke. This is not going to be a cakewalk. There's going to be a lot of highly intense competitive games. And I think all of us who are basketball fans who have been waiting for this type of series are going to get it. And I also think this shows us, right? As much frustration as I have for the Chicago Bulls, if it's done right and you're able to stay healthy, develop your players, and make sure you're hitting on the top guys, you can win. You don't need LeBron James. You don't need Giannis. You need a special player. But if you do things right, like you think organizations win championships, like a lot of front offices believe, here are your 2 examples. And your head guy came from one of these teams. So it's time for the Bulls to finally play big person basketball and catch up. The LA Lakers were a garbage team in the first half of the season. And on the fly, they made sure they got LeBron into the Western Conference Finals. It can be done. It can be done. This is an 8 seed. The team that's in the finals, you had beaten by the 4th quarter of the second play-in game, and you let them go. There is no excuse. You have 2 max players on your team. It's time to make things right. But what's going to be right is this awesome finals matchup. Marvelous. Any final words?
Well, I mean, another potential factor could be Lowry because he's been a great player with other teams too. If he could step it up, and the one that surprised me with Denver is Michael Porter Jr. He's provided a lot of offense for them when they need it. So
who could have been a Bull?
Yeah, yep. There's a lot of things to look for, and it should be interesting. And at least the basketball folks get to watch on a network station because not too many sports are being shown on network anymore. With TNT's involvement, I was shocked to think that the NCAA would be on cable as it is every other year, the finals, and the hockey is now. So things are changing, but there's no more rabbit ears on top of your TV, so it doesn't matter.
I'll tell you this much, though. Speaking of rabbit ears, since the days of metrics, it's always that we pay attention. How are the ratings? How many people watch this? I have a feeling this is going to be a highly watched NBA Finals. I think even though it's the Denver market and it's the South Florida, I still have a feeling there's some intrigue. And there was some interesting storylines in the conference finals, even though one was a sweep and one was a 7-game come from behind crazy game 7 with a crazy game 6. I think there's just momentum heading into this finals, but we'll have to see.
Right. Automatically, you have more viewers if it was the Knicks or the Lakers, because you got your 2 big markets. But you're right. It could be well watched. And of course, Golden State is a big draw too, but we'll see how it goes.
It's going to be interesting. Let's make our predictions. Who do you got?
Denver. I mean, I don't think it's going to go more than 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna my official prediction on the record is Denver on 5. So that's my prediction. But if the Miami Heat are to win this, and I think they can, they will win this in 6 games,
Yeah.
and they're going to win 2 games in Denver.
Okay,
so we'll have to see. That's how it's going to have to happen. Jamal Murray has a great chance of being MVP, but I think they're going to give it to Joker just for legacy. And
right.
obviously, if it's the Miami Heat, all my money is on
Right.
Jimmy Butler.
And to make up for the MVP of the league.
Don't get us started because, don't get us started. But we want to get you started. Let us know who wins this NBA Finals. We're on Twitter at Sports Cubicle TV and, of course, YouTube, the Sports Cubicle, everywhere else in the universe at Sports from the Couch. Sheets and giggles. Feel good while you're watching this NBA Finals. Use our promo code, the Sports Cubicle, Sports from the Couch. And thank you, each and every one of you, for making us feel like we're carrying the Larry O'Brien trophy by visiting us at Luchadog at Kickstarter, Luchadog. For the marvelous one, Dan Marver, for Devin Tingle, for Paul Chivari, I'm Mike Mercado. Enjoy the NBA Finals.